Good evening, everybody. It's so good to see your faces, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come here and to spend time with me. I am very, very grateful and humbled by all of your engagement and support. So today is still daytime. So today we're going to talk about some very important issues that impact your lives and impact your community. And it's just me. It's just me. I hope that's enough for everybody, but you know me. I dig into questions, I ask a lot of questions, and I come back and tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. And so today we're going to have this intimate conversation with me and you about what's going on in our community. There are some hot issues that I need to make sure you have the whole story. And then you make your judgment calls, okay? That's one thing I don't do to you all is hide or give you a perception without giving you the full story. And so today will be nothing different than that. But we're here at Hazelwood East today because I felt like it would be a little bit more intimate. I wasn't sure how many people were going to come out, but I wanted to make sure that we had that one-on-one engagement. So if you've gotten a flyer for this event, I know what some of you all are here for. And so we're going to talk through all of that. So it's going to be the senior tax freeze. We've been anxiously waiting for that. I'd say my part in it, your part in it, county part in it, and then we hopefully can move forward. An update on Jamestown Mall, or what used to be Jamestown Mall, right? We also need to talk about, we also need to talk about some open carry legislation that I put forth. I've talked to you all about this before, but I want you to be clear about it because it is law in St. Louis County, but it is not law in all the municipalities. And that puts us at a crossroads sometimes because you can be on this side of the street and you're in St. Louis County and that law applies, it's applicable. You can be on this side of the street and you're in Bell Fountain, that law is not applicable. And so how am I trying to work through that and get the best solution for everybody? So that will be the gist of it. We also have some information from our public safety. You know, I always try to come to you. We usually have just a public safety town hall, but this time I wanted to bring public safety with this town hall. Why? One is because it's the summer months, right? It's the summer. Activity goes up in the summer. What are we doing to combat some of that? What programs do we have in place? But not only the activity, we also want to talk about what's going on with our precinct, right? We started the same time the other one started. It's not finished. You been by? It's not finished. And so Captain Morgan is graciously doing this on his own time to come before us and give us an update, and I'm very grateful for that engagement because I think you need to know, and it's important, right? This is our community. So nothing should be off limits for us to talk about. I am your councilwoman, and anything you need to ask me, I'm gonna answer you truthfully and openly. And if I don't know, y'all know what I'm gonna say. I don't know. But I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go find out. But I won't pretend that I know something that I don't. And then lastly, we'll be talking about this 2050 plan. I don't know if you received anything in the mail or if you got something, an invite electronically. But we'll be talking about the 2050 plan for St. Louis County and how that all derived. In District 4, you had something to do with that. So that's our agenda for this evening as others are joining in. I'm going to get started, but before I get started, again, thank you. I greatly appreciate your engagement. Our community does not get better if we don't show up. I am one person. I am just one person. A person with a title does not change a community. It's the community coming together. Everybody being held accountable and everybody helping each one teach one to become better. So that's what I've been practicing. Hopefully you've noticed it and you've also seen the growth from it. And so we have some people in the audience and maybe they can testify later. This evening we come up, we're gonna do our testimonies. I'm just kidding. We're leaving here at 8 o'clock, y'all. But again, I appreciate y'all for being here. I do need to give some logistics before we jump into our agenda for this evening. So there is restrooms outside of this auditorium to the left, if I'm not turned around, to the left. Also, their exits are marked if we have to leave here in an emergency. And then it's logistic about our conversation. Again, it's an intimate conversation with your councilwoman. I'm happy to be here, but this is about the county business. This is not about an election. I want to be very clear about that. Because some people can construe an innocent question and take it and run with it and turn it into something it is not. And I'm gonna give you an example. And again, I'm always transparent with you all. I love to have this intimate conversation, but I always like to have resources here for you. The county exec sent me a letter on Friday, Shantae, stating that none of the departments could support this meeting because it was a political meeting. We've been having, come on, District 4, we've been having this conversation in these meetings for 3 years? Once a quarter? For my entire term. And it was deemed that this meeting was political. And I'm like, what's political about it? And so full disclosure, I'm not hiding anything. On my Councilwoman Shalonda Webb page, there was a link to my website, shalondawebb.com. And there, on there is where you see information about my campaign. It has been there since day one, but somebody's paying very close attention now. No harm, no foul. Ignorance to the law does not excuse you. So I take ownership of that. So I went to legal. I said, what is the issue? I removed the issue. It's no big thing to me. Okay, it was not done maliciously or intently. But instead of coming to me and having a conversation or sending me an email to say, hey, this is the issue, you sit and you called your department heads one by one and told them they couldn't participate because this was a political event. I always tell you all the whole story, even in my fault. And I'm not afraid to apologize when I'm wrong. And I sent a formal letter back, and it was on the agenda, and it stated that these are taxpayers of St. Louis County and District 4, and they deserve to get an update from the department heads as it pertains to topics that impact their lives. Well, I'm here. It's just me and Shantae. But it doesn't matter because me and Shantae is who've been helping you all the time. Every day, every step of the way. And so again, I just need to disclose that to you all because I don't want you to think I'm hiding anything. It wasn't gonna stop this show. It wasn't gonna stop our engagement. And every topic that we have behind me, we have information on. So you will get informed tonight and you will understand what the next steps are. But I want to disclose that to you. So I want to pause there to make sure we know this is not a political event. At no time am I gonna say who to vote for. Okay? That's not what this is about. This is our quarterly business meeting for District 4. And that's what this is about. So no questions during this meeting about anything political. However, I am more than happy after this meeting, outside of this room, to answer your questions. Because I know some of you have questions, and I want to make sure I answer them, but this business meeting is not for that. Is everybody clear on that? Yes. Okay. Okay. One last housekeeping logistics. You have 2 cards that you received when you came in. If we didn't, I hope we didn't run out, but one card is blue. That card is if you have an issue that has not been resolved. So you contacted my office, you called Shantae, you reached out to me, and you still haven't had resolution to an issue. We're trying to be accountable here, everybody. So if you have an issue that you've contacted our office about, please write that issue, an unresolved issue, on the blue card. In addition to that issue, I need this information from you. I need your name, of course, right? I need a phone number so we can follow up with you, or an email address.
Email is great.
Yeah, she likes email. I like to talk to people. But y'all be talking Shantae head off sometime. So, name, phone number, and/or email, and then a description of your issue. It'll never be a chance that people can say, she don't come around. She don't answer my calls. And it's not on me. Y'all know Shantae do a phenomenal job. Give her a hand. She does a phenomenal job. She listened to you all for 45 minutes. And then she called me and gave me the quick notes, the clip notes. But we still want to just take care of you. So that's the blue card. That's the issue card. Please, if you have an issue, we're not running for it. We just want to make sure we're handling them. Second card, the white card. That's for your questions. So if you have a question, put it on that white card. We'll be collecting them throughout the tonight, and then we'll try to answer as many as possible. You've been here before. It's not new to you, but we want to make sure we're very clear. Blue card issue, name, phone number, email address, a description of the issue. White card, questions that we want to address in Q&A today. Everybody tracking? Good stuff. Let's press. So, did I say I'm Shalonda Webb? Just in case you didn't know, my name is Shalonda Webb. I'm the oldest daughter of Sharon and Elwood Webb from Port Arthur, Texas. I've been living in St. Louis for 25 years with my husband and my 3 sons. My husband just so happened to be the guy that I met at Juneteenth back in 1993. That's why I met my husband at a Juneteenth celebration in Texas, right? And he just won't leave me alone. I'm like, God, dude, you follow me everywhere from Texas to Nashville to Fisk University, all the way to St. Louis. Y'all know I'm talking noise because he's not here. Good stuff. Thank you for staying engaged with me. Again, tonight is about us. And so we're going to start this night off. We do have, again, Captain Morgan coming on his own time, on his own accord tonight. And as soon as he gets here, I'll wrap up whatever we're talking on and give him the microphone. We also have our representative from the Port Authority, Ms. Ruth Lee. Ms. Ruth Lee will be here to give us an update on Jamestown and what's the next steps. It is down. What is next? I know y'all ask me that all the time. What you gonna put there, Shalonda? Shalonda can't put nothing there. But I will work to share your preferences and whatever influence that I have to make sure that it's something that is useful to this community. And then Shantae and I are going to tackle the plan, 2050 plan for the both of us together. All right, let's jump right into it. So first thing up is introduction. Do I have any elected officials in the building? Any elected officials in the building? Please stand, please stand, please stand. Please stand, please stand, please stand. It's not a lot else, so let's do this.
Tina Timms from the city of Blackjack. I'm on the city council.
Rodney Grady, Councilman Ward 4, Mayor Pro Temp, President Pro Temp, City of Blackjack.
Good stuff. Thank you both for taking time out to be here today. That's important because we work together. You know, they don't just show up for this. I call for meetings, I call for engagement, and they are there. And representative of all of the municipalities in this district, which would include Hazelwood, Flores, and Blackjack, Bellefontaine, and Riverview, they all come. They'll all be at the Juneteenth State of Us tomorrow as well. All right. Do we have any trustees, subdivision trustees? If in the building, please stand up. I won't bring the mic to all of y'all, but I want you to stand up as well. Please, please, please. Yes, yes. I give them a hand because all of them are doing their trustee work for free. For free. One more time, F-R-E-E, free. And some of us go off on them like we're not a child of God. And they do this because they love their community and they love their neighborhood. So they want to make sure they keep them to a certain caliber, right? Some of y'all, we got to show them some grace. We got to show them some grace. And not only do they do it for free, they help create knowledge bases and share what they know with other leaders so they can become better. That is how we're going to transform North County District 4. Us working together and each one teaching one. So again, to all of the free, sacrificing trustees and leaders in our community centers of influence, we thank you. We thank you so very much. I don't think I missed anybody but these people. If you live in District 4, would you please stand up? If you live in District 4, if you get my emails, if you come out to all of our cleanups, stand on up, be proud. D4 family, be proud. The reason I want you to stand up because you make a difference in our community, right? Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm not just acting. You all make a difference in our community for showing up. So thank you all so much. And I see Ms. Ruth Lee has made. Ms. Ruth Lee, you mind coming to the piece? She do this for free too. So Miss Ruth Lee, to make sure that she doesn't have to be up here too long, she's also worked a full work day, and she is our representative on the Port Authority for District 4. And when I asked her to serve in this capacity, she said, sure. She didn't know what I was getting into.
I did not. Here we go. So, good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing tonight? It's such a pleasure to address you, and I am sure as we move forward with Jamestown, some of you will become my best friends. Some of you won't like me very much, but understand that I will listen to everything that you say because I represent you. This is not about Ruth. Let me tell you about how I got to District 4. Me and my husband moved here. I actually been here 6 years in July. I'm from Kansas City. And our realtor took us to every other neighborhood except for North County. And I said to her, I've been living in the suburbs all my life with my children. I raised my children in particular suburbs in Kansas City, and I need to see some people who look like me. Where are those people at? And she looked at me with a very blank face, and she said nothing. So we went and got another realtor that actually lives in D4. We met her, we found our home, we love our home. We live in Jamestown Estates. And so when I tell you we love our home, I'm so excited. I've just put a new door hanger on my door, and I think it's the best thing since sliced bread. I am so excited. So I'm not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. It is a pleasure to serve you. It is a pleasure to work with Councilwoman Webb and all the other elected officials. But I do this work for free. And you need to understand this, that I was not here the last time we went through this Jamestown era. But I've heard the stories. I've heard a lot of stories, and I understand how you feel. And you need to understand that what Councilwoman Shalonda says, that it is you who is more important than anyone else. We are not going to make the same mistakes. All right. We've heard you. I've heard you. And believe me, when she say we're doing this for free, we spent hours in that meeting, and they know who I am. And they understand that even though I didn't grow up here, I still love my community, and I will fight for you tooth and nail. So you need to understand that. It is about you. So having said that, like Councilwoman Webb said, it's gone. I took a picture. It's gone. All the hard work, it's gone. However, it's going to take to the end of the year to clear the field because we have a lot of work to do because it's not easy. You have asbestos, you have all these other things that have to do with construction that I don't totally understand, but I know it doesn't need to be there. So we have our Port Authority meeting tomorrow, but here's where we are with the process. It's time to start looking at how we put this RFP process together and make sure that the firms that apply for the RFP are vetted appropriately, that can actually do the work once we decide on what that work looks like, okay? That's where you come in. I know we've had all of the consultants. I know we had all of these meetings that happened before me, but we don't know what's gonna happen there. The property is for sale. Anybody wanna buy it? In D4, that'd be great. We'd love to have it, but it's for sale. But we had a methodical, long-standing conversation at a Port Authority meeting in April. And it was made very clear that we are not gonna make the same mistakes that we did the last time, and we need to listen to the community, and we need to hear exactly what's needed. She is right. So between Councilwoman Webb and between me and some other people on the Port Authority that are on your side, it will not happen again, and you can hold me to that. So that's what we're doing now. So we're gonna do it slow, we're gonna do it methodical, and we're gonna do it right. Because I understand that didn't happen last time. So I represent you. I don't represent Ruth and Reginald Lee. That's my husband's name. Even though we live in D4, So there's going to be questions, there's going to be informational meetings, informational sessions, workshops, all of that. Councilwoman Webb and I have also talked about some other opportunities because the Port Authority also gives grants out every year. And I chair that committee. We gave out close to $4 million last year. I believe 2 people in D4 got it. We gotta change that. So when she starts telling you about these meetings and you need grants and it's for small businesses and your neighborhood could reform, please come out and listen to it and spread the word. Because I can only approve, or the grant committee can only approve what's submitted. So we got 2 out of $4 million. We have money to give away. And we increased it. Myself and the chair, I said, we have money, let's give it away. So we doubled what we gave out the year before. So we want to continue to do that to help improve our communities. So please pay attention to that notification. But right now, as far as Jamestown is concerned, we are working on the RFP process. There's a lot of details and a lot of things we need to work out, like making sure the title is clean, making sure we have the right companies present to participate in the process, making sure that we know exactly who wants to buy and how it can be marketable, what fits for the community, and how it's going to function in the community. So all of that's to come. So I'm sure, like I said, this will not be my last presentation. And so I'll see you again. Sometimes I'm not gonna know the answer, just like Councilwoman Webb said. I'll tell you, I don't know, but I'll find out, okay? So anyway, we wanted to give you that update. So get ready, D4. A new life is coming in your community.
Thank you so much. Let me give you a hug, Sora. Miss Ruth Lee, and people tease all the time. They say, Shalonda, the only people you know are your sorors. I was like, no, I just need good leadership, and I know they make good leaderships in that sorority I'm in. So, but I'm always looking for good leaderships, and that'll be a call to action at the end. I just want to iterate one other thing that Ms. Lee stated is that there is an opportunity for grants to be given. Please make note of this. These are for grassroots organizations, non-for-profits, and small businesses. We will be hosting workshops to get people ready for that process in October. The same thing that Mr. Nathan and Mr. Beard does when they teach the subdivisions, we're going to be doing that for these funds because we want you to be ready, not getting ready when the announcement comes out. Again, that $4 million has doubled. It used to just be 2. Thank you, Ms. Lee, for helping that be doubled. Port Authority sitting on $22 million in reserve. They couldn't get the $6 million to tear down Jamestown Mall. They will give some to our community for our non-for-profits that's doing some of the grassroots works that we need. So again, I will be putting out that call to action in July. So if you know of organizations, whether they are domestic violence organizations, whether they are youth organizations, whether they're STEM organizations, whatever they may be, we're going to be getting all of that criteria together. We're going to go and coach you through the process of what you need in place, documentation-wise. We want you to be ready. So when application time comes, everything is decent and in order, and we are prepared to be successful. So thank you again, Ms. Lee.
I will say, in addition to that, it's a 30-day turnaround, and that's what we want to do these workshops, to get you ready. So, spread the word, please.
Yeah, excuse me, when you use these acronyms, could you make sure for the people that might not know what they mean, like RFP and STEM?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I'm so used to being at Boeing and using alphabet soup, I just keep talking.
I fall into the STEM category. I was just gonna ask, do I qualify to apply for those, for a grant?
So we will be getting the criteria for those grants once that is publicized from the Port Authority, and that's gonna be a part of our workshops that we have. So everybody, RFP is request for proposal, okay? So that process for Jamestown Mall, which I have been encouraging since we started demolition, to make it work and coincide together. Because I didn't want us to have to go all the way through demolition and serially, meaning one thing first and the second one, but then do the RFP. So while they're continuing the demolition, they're also working on the RFP process. And every developer that comes through my door, that reaches out to me, I funnel them right through the Port Authority.
What's an RFP?
Request for proposal. And so this is the other thing. Don't believe the hype that nobody wants to invest in developing North County. That is not true. That is not true. Having to tear down that monstrosity of Jamestown Mall was a deterrent. And they wanted all of the tax credits. But now we've leveraged that and it's given us a better playing field. So I won't be, I'm sorry, Mr. Rod, you had a question? I don't know. He's asking, Mr. Rodney is asking if the Jamestown property will remain named Jamestown. I don't know. There will be a discussion for the Port Authority. I just want to be like, no, it's not going to change. But again, that is not my decision. I see your hand in the back, ma'am. What is your name?
Yes, Zanetta Bowers. I was inquiring about, Yolanda, I was one of the ones that spoke when we were asking Sam Page to demolish you asked me to come, and I was one of those that spoke. My question to you is about, as it relates to the public meeting that we just recently had about Lindbergh Boulevard. You know, we were told that like the street lights that are near Jamestown Mall were going to be removed as well. So I'm just wondering, will that coincide with any planning, any possible planning? I'm just a little confused as to why is it that they are going to remove street lights that we desperately need on Lindbergh, and then from the street lights, but there's no planning for the Jamestown Mall area. It doesn't.
Next steps. And so I don't know exactly what their plan is to remove streetlights. To me, that will be a safety. Okay, it may be a safety issue. I'm gonna ask you all to write your questions because we're gonna have to maneuver something because Captain Morgan cannot stay too much longer, and I wanna make.
Okay.
And we're gonna make sure we answer all your questions like we said before, but Captain Morgan, we're gonna move things around because he cannot stay too much longer, and I definitely want you to have a public safety update. And so Captain Morgan, would you please come to the front? And again, for sacrificing your own personal time to be here, I really, really appreciate it.
Hello. As she stated, I am Captain James Morgan. I am the captain commander of the North County Precinct. This up here off of 367 at Redmond Road. We're in the process of building a new building. It's at the backside of Christian Arts Hospital. It is about 80+% complete at this point, and we're very excited about it. I'll show you some of those pictures. First of all, if you all can give yourself a round of applause, because it's not very often that I see a room filled to this capacity. So please give yourself a round of applause. I know that crime looks bad. It does. On the surface, it does. I see it every day. I deal with it every day. And I'm not discouraged, but I am nervous about where we're headed. I'm very honest. If you never talked to me before, I'm very honest. I'm not going to lie to you about anything. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm very scared about our youth right now. I really am. Laws have changed that have handcuffed the law enforcement across this country, especially in the St. Louis area. You may ask why we don't do a lot with some of the juveniles that you see in your neighborhood, because you thought they may be an adult. But if they're not 18 years of age, they're still a juvenile in the state of Missouri. That changed not too long ago. They can also have a firearm on them, outwardly carrying it, and at this point, I could not approach them and take that from them because the state law has changed. It says that a juvenile can have a firearm, even in this building. So, hold on, we're gonna ask the question. But she asked me to come, so y'all just gotta understand. When I show up, I don't just show up. So we're gonna talk tonight. So let's talk. Let me go through these numbers. I'll go through this presentation. I'll be willing to ask some of your questions. I cannot stay the entire time, but I would like to answer some of your questions, especially the ones that are most pertinent that maybe I can get you some direct answers this evening. So first and foremost, these are the latest numbers from our precinct. You see the highlighted stuff that's in green, then the stuff that's in yellow, and then the stuff that's in red. It's color-coded that way so that you have the opportunity to understand that green is meaning that we're in a good place. I'm comfortable where we are. I'm actually proud of what we're doing in those areas. Yellow is there's a little bit of concern. There's a change in where it's been. And then red is obviously a change from last year to this year. So we'll start with what we call crimes against persons. the young man asked about making sure that we clarify what that means. Crimes against persons, that would be an incident where a crime against a human being has occurred. Okay, so we'll start with that. So if you look here, our homicides are down 77.8%. So last year at this time, this is an older one. I wasn't able to verify the newest one, so I did not want to provide that because it hasn't been verified yet. There's a process that goes into that. But right now, this number, as of June, in 23, we're at 11 homicides. We're at 3 homicides right now. Unfortunately, we had a homicide last night. So now we're at, last year we would have been at 11, and we're at 3. So still in that same range, okay? Another green is forcible rape. You have assault with dangerous weapons. Those are down 20 to 28% on both of those. We'll go up here. We're talking about assaults with firearms. That would be any type of situation where someone has assaulted someone else with a firearm. Those are kind of moving a little bit. I'm not tremendously concerned about it, but we are definitely keeping an eye on it and doing things to try to curtail that. And then this is where I'm going to tell you that most of you have probably seen a couple of these things on a YouTube video or on your social media where our young people are fighting each other daily. Okay, this is where we were in 23. This is where we are right now. That number is actually higher than that. Again, I had not verified that to make sure that those numbers are accurate, but this number, where we at? This number here, and then this number here, they're probably about 15 to 20 more. Okay, that has me concerned. I'm very concerned about what we don't have conflict resolution in our neighborhoods, in our households right now. The North County Precinct, underneath my leadership, we have partnered with some social justice groups, some other groups that I don't want to list because they're behind the scenes. But we're in Castle Point, we're in Glasgow Village, Spanish Lake, and we have people on the ground having conversations with people who we have calls with that have some conflict resolution stuff that we think we can step in before it gets to a violent state. I think that's why this number is down so much, because we put those things in place. Crimes against property. Crimes against property is going to be any type of crime that is committed that's to a property, to your home, to your vehicle, those type of things. So these numbers, you'll see a lot of green. I'm very happy about that. These officers are working their tails off. But I'll just go over a couple of ones that most people can recognize. Robberies, arson. We all had a problem with Kias and Hondas, right? They were stealing those things like they were passing them out or something. Those numbers are tremendously lower. As you see, motor vehicle thefts at this time were about 40 higher. I think this number is at like 100 now. I'm sorry, this number is at 200, and this number is about 115, 125, 130, somewhere in there. So the numbers are way down. Motor vehicle thefts, this is thefts from motor vehicles, and then this is motor vehicle thefts. So you see where we were last year around this time, you see where we are now. Those numbers have come way, way down, okay? I'm gonna tell you that if you're parking your vehicle at your home and you're not parking it and locking it, shame on you. Somebody's going to visit you, and they're going to sit in your vehicle and take everything that they can get out of it. You might as well put some cookies in and some if they come. I'm just telling you. So, and it don't matter where you live either. So don't make that thing to think like you stay in a nice house that they won't come to your house. Because they will. Because they come to mine, and I'm protected by Smith & Wesson. So the things that I am concerned about are robberies. Burglaries are they're hit and miss. This is a season where more people are out. So we're gonna see more burglaries. There's more businesses opening that are not being occupied at this time. So we get a lot of burglaries. These robberies, these carjackings, those things, they're up. And these aren't 30-year-old people. These are 14, 13-year-old people putting guns in grown people's faces and taking their vehicles. Okay? You see, I'm not used to not having somebody move it. No, I got it. Don't you do that, my mom will beat my butt. Okay, crimes against society. So these are things that that society says, hey, these are our social norms, and you're outside of that. Okay, that's kind of the best way to put that. So we're talking about using drugs, drug paraphernalia, stuff on the internet, pornography, weapons violations. As you see, this is all green. This is amazing that these numbers are where they are. They were quite high in 23. They're turning the other direction. I'm very excited about that. So we won't spend much time on this. As the drug changed where marijuana became legal, we have less cases. So obviously you would see this number go down, just so you understand that. So I don't know how much you know about the precinct. I don't know how much you know about our activity. Our precinct is about 83 officers. It's bigger than some municipalities in this area. It has more supervisors. We have more call volume than any other agency, probably in the state of Missouri, next to Kansas City PD. That's just our precinct. These men and women work their butts off, and when you see them sometimes, and you can wave at them with all your fingers, it would be great. For some reason, all y'all middle finger's so strong and the other one's so weak. I'm just saying, I mean, I told y'all they called me and told me to come here, so be real with y'all. Okay, so these numbers that you see here are in a two-week span. This is just for an example. So 2-week span, our precinct had 163 calls to service who were just for ambulances calls. Just for ambulances calls. So you say, why aren't the police in my neighborhood driving around doing X, Y, and Z? Because we have sick cases all the time. We have to go. Paramedics get attacked, paramedics get hurt. So we have to go to those calls. It's paramount. Okay? Burglar alarm calls. Y'all getting ready to go to work. Y'all halfway closed the door. Y'all doing 90 and a 25 trying to get to work, and the alarm go off. And we gotta go to that too. Okay? Domestics. Now we joked on these first two, but we're not gonna joke here. Okay, domestics. Domestics make up the most dangerous calls that my officers go to on a daily basis. The likelihood of them being hurt, injured, or killed is beyond any other job profession. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. I'm not trying to get your sympathy. I'm just telling you the truth. 2 weeks, we handled 78 of those calls. 78 in 2 weeks. Shots fired calls. Now, these are shots fired calls that are not on the system that our great councilwoman was able to keep in our precinct, ShotSpotter. So folks wanted to take that away. And she did a great job of making sure that didn't happen. Yeah, you can clap for that. I'm gonna tell you why, because I know for a fact we had a call on a ShotSpotter. We got the ShotSpotter call before the citizens call. The officers got there, were able to find a young man that had been shot 7 times, and they saved his life. Wow. Right? So we didn't have ShotSpotter to get the call before the residents who may have heard shots being fired all day and just won't call because they're used to it. We don't get that call, and that young man loses his life. So to me, her actions are invaluable. Right? So that's not me trying to do anything other than give her roses while she's here. Okay? All right. So the rest of these are just, it's regular stuff we deal with that y'all probably know. So one of the things that I was talking about before is we're in the process of trying to get those numbers that I just showed you down. And one of the things that we just started within the last month, maybe two, officially, is this violent crime reduction initiative. This is concentrated again in Castle Point, Glasgow Village, and Spanish Lake. This particular program has a study that's being done at a university. They're determining if these measures will have any impact on crime, and hopefully we can take this model and spread it across the country to bring numbers down in other communities. This is not just enforcement. This is also community engagement. Last month we did a walk and talk in Glasgow Village. I was amazed to be able to talk to that community up there. Yes, I walked around. It was hot. But I walked around and we knocked on doors. I know people were like, uh-oh, the police at my door. And they looking through the curtain and I'm like, hey, come on out, let's talk a little bit. I ain't looking for nobody with no warrants. I ain't looking for no warrants, we just need to talk. And what was amazing about that is once they actually came outside and we started communicating with each other, they realized and I realized we're the same people. Hey, we're the same people. We have the same problems. We have the same concerns. But they had never had the opportunity to talk to me, being the commander of this precinct, and tell me exactly what my officers are doing, what they perceive to be wrong, and I can tell them why it's not necessarily wrong. It's just uncomfortable, and that's the truth. Law enforcement is uncomfortable, and we are able to get some good information out of that. So I'm very happy that we're doing that. Thank you. So this is the first time that we went out. This is over 2 days. So 2 days in the city of Jennings. So this is, and I apologize. So the 3 areas that I listed in my precinct, North County precinct, and then Jennings is also doing this same thing. We're partnering with them. They're doing that in the 4th Ward. And they're trying to do the same thing over there. So we partnership on this. So these numbers are combined numbers for us and for Jennings. That 2-day period, we made 13 felony arrests, 4 misdemeanor arrests. We recovered 3 stolen vehicles. We seized 10 firearms. One of them was a Glock pistol with a switch on it. For those who don't know what that is, that basically takes every round in your gun and fires it on one trigger pull. Very dangerous. So we're able to get one of those off the road. We also did a bunch of traffic stops, some warnings, some citations, towed some vehicles, cleared a lot of crime, and these 2 wanted, one of these clears, 2 of these cleared were 2 murder suspects. So that's over 2 days, okay? I'm not telling you that that's gonna completely change crime. I'm telling you that we're gonna take small steps, take back our communities through us knocking on your door, us doing enforcement, and hopefully we can get rooms filled like this with better knowledge and understanding so we can be in a better place. North County, and she said it, North County is not a dead place. It absolutely not. My family stays up in North County, so I don't wanna hear that. So I have a vested interest in making sure that this area becomes better than what it is. You can drive down 270, you see that there's things changing. The highway is smoother, the speeds are higher, but the road's smooth, though, I tell you that. And then you have, the university has invested a large amount of money in their school to build up a new educational center there that's right off the highway. St. Louis County decided with a lot of great people working behind it to build the North County precinct. That's millions of dollars that is in this neighborhood. Don't let anybody tell you that there's not growth here. There's growth here. You may not be able to recognize it because you don't see left and right all the time. Sometimes we're just trying to get to point A to point B. I get that. But take the time to look at your neighborhoods, please. Okay, so just a quick update on the precinct. So the precinct had a lot of pitfalls, some internal, some unknown, some self-inflicted by the parties that are in control of it, not county side. But the month of April and May, they put their feet to the ground. They're working weekends and nights, and we have what you see before you. So this is the front of the building. This is very important because now we're at a place where it's been sealed. They have some of the kind of cute stuff going on the outside. There's power to the building. For anybody that's in construction, you know how much what that means. We're actually in the dry, as they call it now, I'm a contractor because I've been on all these meetings. So this is the inside of the building. This is our roll call room. I encourage you when we open the building to please be a part of that, to see what if you don't know where the crib is, that's what I call it. At 11815 Benham, that's the crib. It looked like a house. But we've been there for over 30 years. It's time to move. We are going from 8,000 square feet to 17,000 square feet. So this is important. This is very important. So this is just kind of showing you for people who don't really know construction. All these walls have the drywall on them. They have wire going to them, so power going to them. You have the HVAC going in. These are those cloud ceilings, so that means that everything above it is ready to go. Again, these are those rooms being complete. Great strides there. And in our last pictures that I have here, this is the septic area. So they had to go 9 football fields from BJC Hospital to the precinct. That took about 3 months. That was a big project that finally got done that now has us moving very well. So we have AC in there, which you know I gotta have AC. And then if y'all decide to pay their bill, we got a backup generator. All right. I know y'all think, who the hell? Who promoted this dude? No, this is who I am, and I'm not going to change. Okay, so I was directed to answer these top 2 questions. With all the juvenile crime at night, what is the current curfew? Who asked it? Okay, so let me put this down. Okay, so what's the speed limit on 270? Okay, so you ain't gotta raise your hand, but who think you can drive 70 and don't get a ticket? Okay. What's the speed limit on 270? 60, right? I don't know who told y'all that 10 miles over the speed limit is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Whatever it is, the speed limit is 60. The curfew, the actual documented curfew that's in black and white, doesn't mean a thing. I'm being very honest with you. There's a curfew. That curfew is set for Monday through Friday, or Monday through Thursday. It wraps from Friday through Sunday. They get an additional hour on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They should be in the house by 10, 11 o'clock. That may have changed during the week, and then midnight over the weekends. And again, that could change a little bit, but that's about where it is. Here's what I said. I just said this today with somebody who I was talking to in my lobby. If it is 11 o'clock, the street lights is on, and you not at home and you under 15 years of age, either you weren't born in the 70s, 80s, or the 90s, or your mom ain't never put their hands in your mouth. And here's the truth, and I had to say this to this young lady today. Your child is outside at 1 a.m. and he's 13. If you're not concerned that child is outside at 1 a.m., there's nothing I'm going to tell you standing right here today that's going to change your mind. And I walked away from her. I'm just being honest with you. This is who I am. So if you come to my station with some BS, I'm going to get you right in order. No, I'm joking. We're gonna have a good conversation, and I'm gonna hopefully get you better than where you were. But I just want to let you know that's where we are. That's where we are, sir. As far as the curfew is definitely set, but nobody's. It's just like the speed limit on 270. Okay. You got mail lost. Oh, did you give it back to me? Perfect. What are we doing about speeding on Lindbergh? Well, you know what? I ain't gonna ask you to raise your hand. But I think we just covered it. Yeah, I think we covered that already. First of all, that's Florissant.
You were stuck on 270.
That's Florissant. That ain't me. Can we force businesses to clean around and clean up landscaping? The quick answer to that is yes, but no, because we don't know with these businesses who actually own them, and there is a big process that's associated with that. And if you're going to take, because that's what the county would have to do, take over someone's property, there are constitutional laws that have to be, checks and balances that have to be done. So I'm all about it. We've done several cleanups in Castle Point. I've been a part of some cleanups in Kinlock, and it's a daunting task because we don't know who owns these properties. What are the plans for expired plates? That's a good question. There are plates that's supposed to expire. They're paper plates. But if you go anywhere in North St. Louis City, you may see a 2014 10th pack. So I don't know. If you figure that one out, let me know. I'll put it on one of my videos. Can we set? This one says, I received a notice that my alarm went off and there was a contact number, okay? Called and was unable to speak with anyone. All right, so this is actually a great question. That number that's on there, depending on what card they're using, it may be an old number. So remember to always call the non-emergency number for the department, for St. Louis County. That is 636-529-8210, okay? You call that number and now it has a switchboard on there and it'll get you to where you need to go, okay? So yeah, this is a great question. And also if you live in my area and you're going on vacation, you want us to do a vacation check, you can now do that online. We'll make sure that we take care of your property while you're away. If you don't bring us nothing back, then we ain't doing it. Okay, last one, because I'm up here sweating, boy. What is this?
Why does it take so long for
Oh.
the police to come after they call for a non-emergency?
Okay, non-emergency. All right, so this is another great question, and whoever asked that, thank you. So, non-emergency calls are not prioritized. Okay, there's no priority on that. So that's just like if you come to our precinct station, you're going to be put in line where we can put, kind of get somebody there, because we deem that as being a very low risk, safety type matter. If it is a safety type issue, like those first things I talked about, crimes against property or crimes against person, then that's a 911 situation. Okay, so you're going to be prioritized very low, and we're going to get you somebody when we can. So that is why that takes so long. Yes, ma'am.
I was one that wrote that question.
Okay, thank you very much.
I was bitten by my neighbor's dog. Protocol says you call animal control and you call the police. Animal control came, the police didn't come until 4 hours later. Went and knocked on the door, and it's like, what are you talking about at this point?
So,
I called you before that because that was the protocol for that to be done.
two things on that. Rabies control, animal control, whichever way, interchangeable. On dog bites and those type of things, they are responsible to take care of that. They deem dogs as being vicious, they quarantine dogs, they do all those type of things. We're not in a place to do that. Now, 4 hours seems unreasonable, so I'm not sure how that would have taken place. I don't know what the day was. I'm not gonna make an excuse for that, but typically if rabies control or animal control is there, and they're not asking for our assistance, then we're not gonna come to that. That's another one of those low priority situations, but
Well, I
unfortunately.
wind up seeing the backlash on that, well, not backlash, but I wind up seeing, cause we have cameras outside, and the camera showed when the police did show up, the neighbor didn't understand what was going on because animal control had already been there to take the dog. But then they were woken up, what I saw was the police were around their car, they were doing a lot of stuff, but it's like, why are you doing that now? You're 4 hours late.
We're not knowing all the details. I'm not sure what that could have been. It could have been a follow-up. It could be, there's a numerous of things that they could have, would have caused the police to go back. Maybe ownership, maybe they were trying to find out who the owner was. I'm not sure. If you wanna contact me, you can email me if you got a pen or write this down.
Okay.
It's J Morgan, and it's at St. Louis, spell ST Louis out, county all the way out, mo.gov. Send me that information, I'll look into it, we'll get you an answer. Okay,
J Morgan, STL County.
ST Louis County, mo.gov. If somebody else answered, it wasn't me. So, okay, I got one more question. How long have you been a commander? And are you short-staffed with openings? Yeah, we hired. Yeah, we hired. I have been a police officer 22 years. Most of the time it's been in the North County precinct. I became a sergeant in 2014. I became a sergeant, was on vacation, and we went right into the unrest, and I haven't slept since. 2017, I became a lieutenant, and I became a captain in 2022. Yeah, commander-wise, I've only been a commander for just under 2 years. So that's been a blessing for me. Thank you. Are we short? So in comparison, we're not as bad as the city. The city is about 400, almost 500 officers short. I think St. Louis County is somewhere in the near 175. And my precinct, I should be staffed at 103 officers. I have 83. And I'm operating with about 75 because I have officers hurt, officers out on maternity leave and all those things. So again, I was joking about the fingers and y'all fingers being tired. I know y'all fingers ain't tired. Y'all just playing. These officers do need some encouragement at times because they are working 12-hour shifts. That 12-hour shift can be actually 14 hours, so an hour drive in and an hour drive home, and then turn around and do it again. I couldn't do it. I'm just telling you right now, I couldn't do it. And I'm very passionate. Yeah, they could live in North County. I'm very passionate about what I do, but I don't think I'll put a uniform on right now. I'm being very candid with you. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I have the mental capacity for it. I'm too old, and I don't know. Yeah, it needs a whole lot of church. Now, cause she's had her hand up for quite some time. I'm gonna answer this last question, and I'm gonna get my little sweaty self out of here.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
You said a lot of the crimes committed by a lot of teenagers or young adults or not.
Yes.
Who can we get at the next meeting to hold them accountable for not making such laws to hold them accountable? The mayor, for instance.
Okay, so those changes were votes. So that was something that was voted on through the state. So at some point, that was attached to some law that we voted on, that you didn't read all the way through, unfortunately, and it got through, okay? So there is a person that is very candid about the truth in juveniles. His name is Rick Gaines. He is the deputy juvenile officer for St. Louis County. I call him a friend. because I know what he's up against, and he does not back down. And he's willing to answer any of your questions. Now, they're gonna be tough questions, because I know there's a lot of people here who have young people who may not, be on that straight and narrow right now, and you're looking for answers. I'm just telling you, I don't know if I have those answers. I try to talk to those young people when they come to the station. They say, yes, sir, no, sir to me, but when they walk out the station, their mama come get them, they cussing at them. So, you know, I don't have an answer for that. But it's gonna be your representatives that are in Jeff City. It's gonna be those who are voting. And then, Mr. Gaines is the one who's fighting for us to get those things changed or to alter. Okay? All right. All right.
Okay, this is the last one, everybody, because I gotta get to the senior tax rate.
Yeah, y'all gotta do the tax. Yes.
I just want to address a little bit of the last question.
Yes.
And because I was an extra after meeting, but I'm on the front. Senate Bill 5 is what,
Can you please speak into the mic?
Yeah, we can't hear.
Senate Bill 5. Here you go.
I was just gonna say, please have some mercy for the police officers. They're doing a tremendous job. But there's a bill in Jeff City called Senate Bill 5. And we go up there every year and talk to the state legislators about changing this bill. It's really got their hands tied. They can arrest, particularly a juvenile, Monday, and he's out by Monday evening.
Hold on, let me correct that. We literally can lock up a juvenile for a stolen vehicle, carjacking, or a dangerous crime, and they will be home before my officers get back to the station.
Absolutely, and it's a serious issue because it ties up a whole bunch of ordinances that the cities have. A lot of the homeowners associations can't get things enforced.
Yeah.
And it's a real terrible bill. We're going up there again very soon, back to Jeff City again. We're gonna be fighting it again. But every time we go up there, we don't get the answers that we're looking for. So just want to let you know it's not the police's fault. And it's these state officials that we're having trouble with. So we're gonna stay on the grind. We're gonna still be fighting it. But I just want you to know that the police are doing a very good, well, as best they can with that because of this bill.
Thank you all. So here you get real knowledge. I want to give a round of applause to Captain Morgan. I hope you all realize the people that I'm working with are sincere. They have a work ethic. They are here for the real reason to take care of our community. From Ms. Ruth Lee to Captain Morgan to myself. I hope you see your representation working, not with just lip service, but being about it. And so they come here to you, and I'm glad you're staying attentive and staying with me. We've been here about an hour, but I appreciate you all for listening and taking this knowledge back. Some of this just is for your situation awareness. Some of this is for you to take home to somebody else and say, you need to get it together. You need to come to the next meeting. We're going to work and support our police. So what Captain Morgan does, and I have to put this out here, he is making it a priority to police our neighborhoods with care and compassion. That does not mean we don't hold people accountable. I appreciate his jokes. I appreciate his human side. But he take care of business. And he do it with love in his heart. But love don't mean you just let people do what they want to do. You hold people accountable. When did accountability become a bad word in our communities, in our society?
Amen.
That's the kind of people I like to work with. Because I know they're about the business and they're doing it with integrity. So again, I thank him. When they have coffee with cops, show up. When you see that, show up. Let them know that we care. Look, Shantae does a phenomenal job. Y'all know I don't cook. I give a little money on it. I put a $5 on it. I say, Shantae said, I'm gonna fix some quesadillas. I say, how much money you need? But she does that just to show that appreciation. Because he's right. The North County Precinct gets more calls than the whole police department. They work tirelessly on our behalf. So give them a 5-finger wave, 5 fingers. We see you, Captain Morgan. We see you, we care about you, and we appreciate you. Again, I'm working to make sure, even where they have shortcomings, that they have the technology. I gotta tell this because I'm gonna tell the whole truth here. When they tried to take out ShotSpotter, Dr. Page tried to take it out the budget. I said, Dr. Page, did y'all talk to the captain, the chief of police? Who told y'all they didn't need that? Because we short staffed. So we gotta leverage the technology to give them an even playing field. And when one of my colleagues spoke up and said, well, they don't need it. Where do you live? You don't live in District 4. None of those ShotSpotters was in any other community, only in North County. So how do you make a decision to take away a tool that's gonna help our police staff keep us safe and protect us without even talking to them? And they was expecting me to go, oh, okay. No, wrong girl. To the ring, Captain Morgan. Captain Morgan over here trying to take $750,000 out of the budget saying y'all don't need ShotSpotter. Did you say that? No, I didn't say that, Shalom. Okay, I'll call you back. Chief Gregory, to the ring. They trying to take out $750,000 from ShotSpotter. Did you say y'all didn't need that? No, I didn't say that. Okay, I'll call you back. We keeping that. Because it saved lives, like that story you shared. There were teenagers shooting at a woman walking her dog like she was target practice. They didn't get the call first from another concerned citizen. They got that call first from the ShotSpotter. And they was able to get to the scene, chase down the teenagers, because they was kids. And thankfully they was bad shots. Because she was okay. But if that was you, I bet you would have wanted ShotSpotter to send an alarm off. ShotSpotter's technology, and they have it throughout, there's 3 spots in North County where it detects when a gun is fired, and it can give, it's GPS technology, right? Global positioning technology, where it can tell you where the shot was fired at, and then it can get those directions directly to the police through their cars, through their technology in their cars, right? That's good technology when you don't have a lot of police officers.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So again, I want to thank him. I am partnering with them. Just show them some love sometime. And everybody not perfect, we not perfect. If you think I'm perfect, you really gonna be sorry. But we all want to work together to better our community. So again, I thank Captain Morgan. I appreciate his personality sharing all of this, because all of this ain't good news. But it's news you gotta hear. And it's truth. It's truth. Now what are we gonna do about it? So I'm asking you to support them. Go to Coffee with the Cops. When we do our next cleanup, what you're gonna see, we're gonna do our next cleanup, I need y'all to show up. Because they show up for me when I say, we gotta go clean up Glasgow. We gotta go clean up Castle Point. Okay, Ms. Webb, how many else you want out there? I need y'all to show up for them, okay? I'm moving on because a lot of you are here about senior tax freeze. And I appreciate you being patient. So I'm gonna talk to you, Shantae, let's bring up the chart. It's there. You can't see all the little words. So I'm gonna give you some backstory because I gotta stand in my truth. So, in the fall, the state sent legislation down to say that we were gonna do a senior tax freeze. And that's all they sent down. Them words, we're gonna do a senior tax freeze. They didn't see up I tell people all the time, it wasn't prime time ready. They didn't have any guidance in it. They didn't have any implementation guidance in it. And they didn't have a check to go with it. So you're gonna send down legislation to say this needs to be enacted, but who paying for this? That's a real question because you don't want your taxes to go up. But you want better services. So to be able to afford this, that means that other tax districts, like the fire department, are going to be impacted. Right? If it takes 8 minutes for an ambulance to get to your house now, and we reduce the amount of funds that goes to the fire tax district because we've frozen our senior taxes, then now it takes 12. How long does it take before, if you go into cardiac arrest, how long does it take before you can be revived? Exactly.
What?
It's like 8 to 10 minutes. I have to give you that reality. Because I have to understand that when I'm making decisions. Not at one time that I never want to help seniors. Miss Cookie said it best when I was at the senior Spanish Lake tour. She said, no, she wanna have seniors, she just wanna do it right. People like to throw up them headlines because it sounds good. But when it's time for rubber to meet the roads, everybody hide their hand like, I don't know. So there's where I have my challenges. How are we gonna pay for that? I'm giving you backstory because that's the past. It was voted for, and it's the law of the land in St. Louis County. So go ahead, you can clap for it. Now how are we gonna get it implemented and paid for? Because I wanna help the seniors, but just like the Older Adults Commission from St. Louis County, I thought that working with the circuit breaker would have been a better alternative to help more seniors. One thing we did put in our legislation for the senior tax freeze is that we was gonna have, I call it a means test, but it was gonna be a value of property. So anything over $500,000 would under $500,000 would qualify. Anything above, if your property was worth more than $500,000, it would not qualify. And that's how we move forward with our senior tax freeze in St. Louis County. Now, the state has been doing their little funny stuff, and I think they've taken away that provision. So again, that will be less funds that we will be collecting, or property taxes that we will be collecting on. So again, less will be going to other taxing districts. But it is the law of the land in St. Louis County, and it is the law of the land. I support it wholeheartedly. No questions asked. It is the law. We will implement it. Now, St. Louis County, you came to us with a budget, a price tag of $1.7 million. What are you gonna do with that $1.7 million, St. Louis County? You didn't even have a framework of a program. How are you gonna ask me for $1.7 million? And we're in a deficit. I need you to act like this your house. You don't do that at your house. You look at that budget, and we say, babe, it's okay, we got $500 this week. We're gonna pay the electricity. We're gonna put $5 on the cable. In fact, we're gonna turn the cable off. We're gonna reduce the number of actual phone lines we have on our cell phone plan. That's how you manage business in your home. That's how we have to manage business in the county. We're gonna take care of the necessities. We're gonna take care of our vulnerable. We're gonna take care of our seniors. But I can't just let you go all willy-nilly and say you need this amount of money when you can't give me a plan on what you're about to do. So, I asked them for a committee of the whole, 2. Committee of the whole, come tell us what you're gonna do so we can make a good decision about this. In fact, St. Charles County, you implemented yours. We have people in the city. Can you all come and share your best practices? What's the problem with asking people how to do stuff better? It doesn't have to be my idea. If it's good, it's good. Let's leverage it and keep it moving. So that is why I invited St. Charles County and other municipalities that have implemented the senior tax credit to come and talk to us. I'm giving you a backstory so you walk out of here with the full perception of everything. So that's why I did that. Took that input in. St. Charles County is smaller than St. Louis County. I know that. If they used 150,000 and we only used, when we saying 300,000, West Shalonda, we so much bigger than them, 3 times bigger. Why only 300,000? Because we only have half a year left. You do not have to hire all full-time employees to do this work. You're basically having people collect the applications, open the applications, and then implement them. So you have a key clerk, somebody to open, somebody to actually stack them. We can use temp employees to do that, just like the assessor office does. So I'm trying to find a way to make it practical to implement this that's not going to cost us an arm and a leg, which we don't have right now. And lastly, the state was still doing what the state do, playing with it. So once they finish doing what they've done, we got a strategic idea of what's going to take to actually implement this. Now we can go forth and say, okay, it's the remainder of the year. 300,000 should get you at least 10 temp employees, 9 temp employees, 1 full-time employee, and you can go pay for the software that you're going to use to actually implement the program. That seemed reasonable to me. That is what we did. And you can look at all other headlines, and that is what we did. Now, that should get you to the end of the year. When you come forth in October with your new budget, now you know exactly what you're gonna do to implement it. Now you can come back with a price tag. You're still gonna have to cut some other things, because St. Louis County is in a deficit. But we're gonna take care of priority. So what is the time frame for this? And so we did all of those things, and I didn't read the charts verbatim, but you know we send out the charts after every meeting. So if you sign up and gave us your email, we're gonna send it out to you. Initially, we said we was gonna have this done by June. Okay, it's June. Now, and this was what was really funny. They was asking for $1.7 million, and they didn't have the software prepared. They still haven't hired any employees. So now you're saying by the time we get the software in place and we have our staff in place, it may be 6 weeks out. So that's putting us in August, everybody. So now we have how many months left in the year? What, 4? But that doesn't hurt you applying, because we extended the timeline for this. So the timeline to apply has been extended a full year, so that once they say the green light is on, everybody's sending your applications, come and apply, you have a whole year to do this application. Now, I asked again the Department of Revenue to join us today so you can hear verbatim, but again, I'm giving you information directly off of their website. There is a printout, you're gonna get the slides, you can go there yourself. It says just about that. There is not an actual click here and apply. That's what you all wanna hear, I know. But that doesn't exist yet. Will it? Yes. When? Hopefully by August, into this summer. But you will still have the entire rest of the year through next year to apply. I'm gonna pause here because I know you have some questions, but I need you to hear this because there was a lady who called me, and there was somebody who saw me in the store, and it's like, it's so confusing. Do we have it or don't we have it, Shalonda? Just tell me clearly, do we have it or not? I said, it's by law, we have it. Do we have a process and a program implemented? No, we do not. Will that prevent you from applying once the program starts? No. And if you have any problems, you know how to contact my office. And Shantae and I will be working to help each and every one of you who needs that assistance to make sure that you can apply. Make sure that you are processed and it will be implemented. We're waiting on the Department of Revenue. It's just not the Department of Revenue that's impacted by this. Yes, they will handle the actual application, but a part of the process, and that's what I wanted them to lay out on their website, which they have not yet, is that you're gonna have to get proof of your deeds, right? Deed, because you only can have one property. It's the property, your primary property, where you reside. But you'll have to get a copy of that deed. You'll have to get that documentation, and so they are working to support that. The Department of Deeds is impacted as well. So the volume call that they're gonna have will increase as well. So what I need you to do once it starts, and as soon as it starts, I'm gonna send you all, like I sent you an invite to this, I'm gonna say it is on and popping. Get there, send it in. A lot of the applications will only be electronically. The only place you will be able to process in person will be in Clayton. Not at the satellite locations. They will only be doing in-person applications in Clayton. I know that's not what you wanted. You want to hear Shalonda, okay, on Monday, I can go click on this link and put my application in. I'm sorry, but I need you to hear the full story. I need you all to understand what's going on, because headlines give you perception. And everybody don't have time to come to a council meeting every Tuesday for 3 hours. That's what you sent me there for. But when I throw my head up, y'all seen that from Alabama? When I throw my head up, I need y'all to come on down and help a chick out. But again, I thank you for being lighthearted about that. But again, we will take care of our seniors. It is now almost 10 minutes to 8. I don't want you to leave yet because Council, he has a question, Shantae, he written it down. I will take all emails with questions, but State Representative Chantel Nixon Clark was able to rise. She's just coming from the Coldwater Creek contamination town hall. They were both on the same night. It is important that you all know about this. If you think that you are not impacted, you are highly mistaken. Chantel is personally, State Representative Chantel Nixon Clark is personally impacted by this. Not only has she been a 2-time breast cancer survivor, in fact, when she ran the first time, the week before the election, she found out she had cancer again. And then, people something else. They tried to use that against her. She don't show up for work. No, because she had chemo. But she still worked on our community. She still brought $10 million home back to our community. And so I like to be around people that have a work ethic, that do the business for our community. So you need to hear about this. We'll have a separate town hall. She's gonna call one with the details, but I wanted to give you a legislative update, and I also want to update you on the Rika Chantel, look, between Shantae and Chantel, Chantel, would you please come to the front?
Hello, everybody. Hi. I'm sorry I rushed in. I do apologize for being tardy. I've been working for y'all. Can't nobody say I don't work. I am so happy to be before you. I won't be before you long. I know you've been sitting for a while. But really fast, I'll go through some of the accomplishments in the last 2 years. I just want to say thank you to Councilwoman Shalonda Webb for all of your tireless efforts, and collaboration is the key. So, real quickly, so I serve in District 67, which you all can see. Some of the committees that I have sat on is government efficiency and downsizing, professional registration and licensing, special committee for small businesses, healthcare reform, subcommittee on appropriations for general administration, and special committee on the tax reform, which we talked about the senior tax credit, fighting for North County on that, and special committee on property tourism. So in the last session, some of the bills that I was able to get passed is House Bill 434, which designates October 21st and recognizes domestic violence. House Bill 436, it recognizes on October 2nd of each year Breast Cancer Awareness Day. House Bill 2875 for Mo Health. Let me tell you about that very quickly. So we found a loophole. North County is #1 in late stage African American being diagnosed with breast cancer. #2 in mortality across the nation. We are. And so when we talk about having access to health care, we found out that if you were diagnosed with breast cancer from your job, which was a private provider, if that doctor was not a Medicaid provider, enrolled in Medicaid, and you lose your job, or you lose your income, or you lose your private insurance, you would no longer have access to Medicaid. And when I say access to Medicaid, we know that when someone is going through chemotherapy, radiation, it's every week, it's every 3 weeks, there is a strict regimen. What we found out was you would have to go through the regular processes of applying for Medicaid. And how long does that take? Well, with this bill, there's no delay. So women, thank you. Women were dying because of that loophole, because they did not have access and they did not meet the requirements to have their health invoices forgiven by the hospital. So what this does is, as soon as they apply, they are retroactive 2 months prior to. So there's no lapse in treatment. And I'm proud of that. Very proud of that. I did a amendment, I can't see, House Joint Resolution for firearms. We all talked about that. But we know how the youth are walking around, and I know Shalonda may have mentioned that it's matching with their outfits. And so how do we change that? How do we combat that? Some of the partnerships that I've done, I was able to give a young lady who is a student at Hazelwood Central a scholarship for college of $1,000. Very proud of that. We continue to have collaborations with the senior citizens in the Village North Living Facility. We did a bra giveaway, free mammograms for women in the community. Very proud of that. Simon Cancer Mammography Van came on site. We do Christmas, we do Easter giveaways for all the community and their families. I'm in the schools, y'all. I am in the schools, and also have invited the schools. Remember back in the day when we used to take field trips to the Capitol? Yeah. What happened? So the schools have been coming on my invitation so that we can give our youth another chance at opportunity. And so we have open dialogue, and some of the kids have been able to create legislation for us to try to pass as well. Thank you. What's the next slide? All right. Okay, so Senate Bill 727 is why I'm here. Some people may have heard that I support charter school. Senate Bill 727 was the largest education reform bill in decades. What they didn't tell you is that this bill was 167 pages. Yes, oh my God. It literally took 3 days to read and comprehend the details of this legislation. What they don't tell you is that this bill was a bill for moms, dads, children. This bill was something in there for charter schools expansion, but that expansion was only specific to Boone County. That's what they didn't tell you. So they're saying Chantel supports charter schools. I didn't see party lines. I saw dollar signs for my Hazelwood School District. Very quickly, when we talk about this bill, some of the highlights in this bill, we talk about teacher pay increases, teacher pay raises. This bill is a bill that will be appropriated for over 3 to 5 years. Instead of schools now getting paid for students' attendance, the school district will now get a stipend based off of enrollment. With that change alone is a $7.4 million increase for Hazelwood. When we talk about early education, there are so many students that are on the wait list for kindergarten. This bill opens up the opportunity for 50% more students to be enrolled in early childhood, which is another stream of income for Hazelwood. You can hear about some of the schools going to a 4-day school week. Well, another increase, y'all. Hazelwood goes 5 days. The incentive for this school district and municipalities larger than 30,000, they will get an incentive for their 5th-day work week. There are so many great things in this bill, and there were some not so great things in this bill. But when you calculate how much Hazelwood would make and has the potential to make, it could catapult us into change. Some people say, well, it's not in the budget, won't be appropriated. What would you do then? We stay the same, right? A gentleman asked me, he says, you threw a pipe bomb in my district, which he's from Boone County, to save your district. And my response was, well, what happens when you have a district already on fire? I'm not afraid of the difficult conversations that I've had to face since this vote. You sent me there, and I made a vow to you all that I would make change, and that's what this vote meant to me. So if I have to be crucified and not vote based on the party lines, we will never see change in North County. We will never see change in North County. So when you hear that Chantel supported charter, you tell them how much money we brought back. So with that, can you go to the next slide real quick? Okay. Oh, all right, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. So when we talk about the accomplishments in the last 2 years, I brought back $9 million for low-income housing. And when we talk about low-income housing, it's everywhere, not just St. Louis City. So we will be able to apply for those funds. Diamond Diva, which is a domestic violence nonprofit organization, they received $500,000. Why you say that? We're worse than the city. They have a 24-hour line, and most of their calls are right here in North County for domestic violence. The Journey Foundation, they got over $1 million. That's Glasgow Village, y'all. And what this does is open up food opportunities for families who can't afford to feed their families during the summer. Because most parents they rely on the schools' lunch and breakfast to feed their children. So very proud of that. The Corey Johnson Foundation received $175,000. It is a youth male mentorship program. We know that the girls will be taken care of, but we need something for our males. So this is a pool program where they're able to apply the pool tools and resources to their everyday life. And last but not least, Youth in Need, they received over $800,000. So we know Youth in Need has other locations, but they're coming right here. They're having opening a facility right here in North County. And so I am so proud to report back over $11 million, which has not been done in over 4 years, y'all. RECA, very quick. RECA is the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. I have been tirelessly, we have 2 teams on the ground right now at this moment, one in DC, one in St. Louis. I have been traveling back and forth, champion for North County. Did you all know we had no representation at the table? In years. We had no representation in years. And so now we have a seat at the table. We are trying to bring back compensation to families who've been affected by Coldwater Creek. It's been 80 years with no representation. We are fighting. Don't let anybody tell you that RECA expired. It did, but we are still fighting. It is not dead. RECA compensates families who have lost their loved ones. They will receive $25,000 to the loved ones that they have lost. if you live in a certain zip code, and if you are diagnosed with certain ailments, diabetes, cancers, all of, you name it, right here in our zip code. If you are currently ill or have been diagnosed, you will receive $50,000, or you can have your medical bills expensed. So when you sign up in the back, please make sure that we have your contact information. We had a town hall over 8 months ago. 150 people, 150 of you showed up. And guess what? 95% of the people were sick. We're sick. I hear you. I'm fighting for you. And I will never stop fighting for North County. That's been my time.
Thank you. Again, I wanted to make sure you know about reaping compensation because a lot of us got family members that impacted by Coldwater Creek. And we just going along to get along. There is an opportunity for us to be compensated for that. We need to have champions that go out and fight for us in that capacity. Okay, Shantae.
All of this information can be taken.
All of this information, you all are privy to this information. Please take one when you leave on your way out the door.
All right, everybody. We didn't get to all of our conversation because we did not get to talk about the general plan. And I know it's 8:10, and we didn't have a live Q&A. But this is what I want to say about the general plan. So St. Louis County is doing assessments on what we can do to make the county better and what do we do to plan for not just improving our economics, but actually the land that we occupy. Yes. Where did this come from? And I'm going to put this out. I went to St. Louis County when I first became, let me read this. I went to St. Louis County when I first became a councilwoman because there are certain things that I would like, the community told me when I was running for office they wanted to see. Some things I was able to enact, some things I was not. For instance, I don't approve new liquor school, package carry-out liquor licenses. We are saturated, y'all heard me say this before, but I'm very open about this. The reason being is, we want different, we gotta do different. And that means I gotta stand 10 toes down on it. I can't tell it right now, we can talk about it. But the liquor stores, we are saturated. I've had people come to me talking about, I have a great business, and we keep our liquor store clean. Okay, keep it clean in West County, because we good.
All right, keep it up.
Now, am I getting sued for this? Yes, in my official capacity. Am I, on Facebook, they talk about me, or just another black woman holding another black woman down? Ma'am, no ma'am, that's not the deal. We want better. So the liquor store was one thing, and then I wanted to improve other things. The dollar stores. We are saturated with dollar stores. And don't get me wrong, I shop at Family Dollar, Dollar General, and the Dollar Tree.
We don't need any more though.
We good though. We really good. We need other options in our community. And so the way to try to control this, I went and learned from somebody else. I told you I don't have a problem with learning. I would learn what they was doing in other areas where they have special use districts where they can control what comes into their community. Yes. So that's what I wanted to do with District 4. Liquor stores, the dollar stores, and I hear you about the car washes. But car washes are in Florissant for the most part. That is a different municipality. I have no authority there. Okay, I gotta be open and honest with you all on that. But just one quick thing about the car washes. It has been shared with me that could be a potential, emerging technology when we transfer over to EV charging stations, when they become more than just a nice idea of, oh, you got a Tesla, oh, you got a Tesla. When we all gonna have some type of version of an electronic vehicle, when it's not too far from here, they can easily transform those car washes to charging stations without having to mandate that you put them in your already existing homes. So that is just one thing that I've heard. I cannot put a flag in that, but that is what's been shared with me. But back to the special use district, to be able to have some control over what comes into our community. That's what I brought to the county. And when I brought that to the county, they said, Shalonda, we never did anything like that before. I said, golly. Every time I ask for something, you never did it before. Okay, I'll be patient, let's wait, we'll do it. I'll work with you through hard. Then they came back to me and said, you know what, that was a good idea, Shalonda, we're gonna just do a plan for the whole county. I was like, good, but does that mean District 4 gotta wait till the whole county get their act together? Yeah, we do. So they put forth the 2040 plan, the 2050 plan, and in that 2050 plan, the St. Louis County is going to be having networking workshops within our communities for you all to tell them what you would like to see. Everything I just said that I wanted in a special use district, I've already communicated to the director of planning. There are some great people there. They're working with us to make sure we do some transformational things. We do have information. It's going to be in the actual presentation. You all can look at it, click on the link. They want you to sign up. They want to hear your voice. I just want them to act upon what your voice says. And that's what I'm there for, to hold them to that accountability. Everybody, it is 8:15. We had no question and answers. However, if you want to be patient and do some Q&A, I will answer some questions. For those who need to go, I do understand and respect that. Thank you for being so diligent and calm to stay thus far. I will answer about 3 to 5 questions that Shantae is already pulling out for me. Okay, what's the first question?
There were several questions surrounding speed bumps and stopping car repair shops and other businesses that.
So just like I undertook the open carry, reducing the amount of open carry, making it required that in unincorporated, you have to have a concealed carry license. That means you have to be 19 years old to legally own a gun, and you've had some form of training. I'm trying to create responsible gun ownership and also make sure that our minors don't have guns. I'm not trying to lock them up. And again, I will have Mr. Rick Gaines at our next town hall. But what I want to make sure we do something very similar for that, for some of the speeding. It's not an easy answer, everybody. It's not speed bumps on every corner either. We've got to come up with some alternatives. I work with them being the Department of Transportation and Public Works, to come up with some traffic calming measures in Castle Point. That was going to be our demo ground. We did all of that. We talked to everybody. We got their feedback. We came up with a plan where we was going to put certain traffic calming measures, and then St. Louis County said, we're out of funding, Shalonda. But let me tell you what Shalonda did. So, just recently, myself and one of my colleagues, and again, when I'm trying to better North County, I don't see district line or party lines, I see North County. That is my North Star. So a Republican colleague of mine, we decided that we was gonna take some of that NFL settlement.
Yes, exactly.
Why don't we sit on money when we know we are giving the services to our people? And let me give you full story, everybody. We have a bridge and road fund, but that does not apply to subdivision roads or subdivision sidewalks. That money cannot be used there. It's only for county roads and arterial roads, not for subdivision roads. So I talked to Councilman Harder. I said, how much you want? And he said 20. I said, that's just for your district? And he said, what would you think? I said, we're gonna start with 40, because I look at the amount of projects that we have out there, some of the feedback we've gotten. I said, it's not gonna fix everything, but it's a very good start. So we appropriated $40 million out of the NFL settlement. 10% of that $40 million will be used for administrative, for a construction management company to actually handle the project, because the first thing Connie tells me is, Shalonda, we don't have capacity to do that, we don't have enough staff. I said, I understand it, you're gonna have to outsource. So put out a request for a proposal, put out a bid, and get another company to come in and handle it for us. Now, that just passed within the last month. And so, it's government, so it might be the beginning of next year before something, but the money is there. It will be used for those purposes and those purposes alone. So with that, I'm getting back to, what are we doing about street calming measures? You can take some of that money that we appropriated from the NFL funds and use that to implement some of the street calming measures that we want to do in Castle Castle Point and use that as a model or a prototype. Thank you, I couldn't get my words together, for other areas. That's what we need to do. So that's what I've done.
You didn't talk about the car shops.
The car shops?
Yeah, the repair shops.
One sec, oh, grocery store's coming. So car shops, and so we are going through some of that where there are some homemade car shops.
Yes.
They are illegal. You can call Mr. Jason Capallo. Which Jason's new
We call
replacement
him
name?
all the
Paul?
time. We call him all the time.
You call Jason Capallo and he's
All
not
the
done
time,
anything?
and it's still-
Okay, well, we need to contact my office and we can follow up on that, because they have followed up, because I've actually had to go through the process where some of them have been fined and some of them, actually removed. Because you cannot have a home, you cannot put
we got three
everybody in your friend car on bricks and work on under the hood, not in my not in your driveway, not in my subdivision. So that's what we want to hold people accountable for. And I'm being open and speaking very plain language with you all, but that's true. You can't do that. It's not allowed.
But it's been done lately.
Okay, so we have a grocery store question, and I'm gonna go back to demolition. So grocery stores, I appropriated $5 million specifically for this district to deal with grocery stores. Okay, I did that in 2022. And so since 2022, we identified some entities that can actually address that issue. Not all of them are grocery stores. It is not going to be enough money to build a grocery store, but it will be enough seed money to create a public-private partnership to address the food insecurities. Well, those funds have been sitting at the county executive desk since October of 2023. And I know y'all heard the news, and I know y'all see me on the news, and I hope I have represented you well, but here's what I'm gonna say. Accountability is not a bad word. And if you made a commitment, then you have to follow through on the commitment. Dr. Page did a whole press conference to go and show how the building was cracked. And the water was in the basement. And that's why he needed $562 million to build a new building. And we need a sprinkler system. Those things need to be addressed. I'm not being facetious, I'm being honest with you all. We have to address those. But hold up. You made a commitment to a community with ARPA funds that you have not delivered on. And first you told me you didn't do it because I cut your budget, which wasn't true. I kept you at the spending levels you were prior to in 2023. And you still haven't used all that money. And then now you're saying, well, she won't meet with me. Let me be 100 with you all. I was meeting with Dr. Page, myself and the vice chair every week. And every time I said, okay, Dr. Page, what are we gonna do about ARPA? You wanna read me the agenda. I have 2 degrees. I don't need to read the agenda. Now, if you wanna talk about a specific example of something that's a hindrance or it's going to strategically impact the county, let's talk about that agenda item. But you're not going to sit here and read to me the agenda and say, you got any questions, you got any questions? When I'm asking you about ARPA, funds that you promised this community, and you're not delivering on that. So I tell you what, Dr. Page, tell me what you need to get the ARPA done. I asked them, just tell me, Dr. Page, we will figure it out. Let's work through this. I'm a collaborative person. Let's work through hard. What do we need? You know what Dr. Page brought me? He brought me a budget for $14 million. I need this $14 million. Okay, well, what are these items that impact ARPA? Oh, you want to update the soccer park in Creve Coeur. Oh, you need... I'm like, wait, Dr. Page, are you serious? You're playing me for stupid now. I'm being honest with you all. You're not being honest, you're not working with good faith. And I'm not trying to get you all riled up. I'm giving you what's the letter land because I know you see the news clipping. You're like, why is she fussing like this? I'm just trying to hold people accountable to our community. Does that mean I'm not going to work with Dr. Page? No, that does not. But I am going to hold you accountable to what you promised to deliver in this community. Okay? So there's a question, that your hand is raised in the back, ma'am?
Yes, it is again. So I guess I'm just a little confused and so concerned because it was brought to our attention that Sam Page was it for us. We needed to vote for him. We needed to do all of this. And now we're in this, this conniption with this guy, with this gentleman. I recall when we had this issue with Jamestown Mall. It's so easy enough for Chesterfield to be able to already have a devised plan before the mall is demolished, before it's even revamped. But for us, it's taken such a long period of time for anything and everything. What is it that we need to do as a community to ensure that we get something that's sustainable for us, our families, and our children?
I hear you, ma'am. And, I hear you, I hear your frustration in your voice.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of conversation. I'm just asking for a solution. What is it that we can do? I know that when it was time for Jamestown Mall to be torn down, you had asked, you solicited participants, patrons, residents to come there to talk. He stood up there and I stood shyly enough and I spoke and I did it and then it was agreed to. Is it that we all need to get there to a town hall, to a county to let him see that, hey, we do matter?
Yes.
Our community does matter?
Yes.
Tell us that.
Yes,
Just tell us
ma'am.
that.
So I do speak up to everybody, and I ask you to come to the council meetings, and I ask you to advocate. Sometimes I put a call to action out to say, I need you all here to talk about this. I've had 3 committee of the whole meetings about ARPA spending, about food insecurities, about derelict properties and tearing them down. And we just have to be relentless. Just as relentless as they were about the masking, just as relentless as they were about the ceasefire resolution, that's how we have to be about matters that concern our community. I am relentless. I hope you all see me working tirelessly. I'm not just saying that to make sure that, no, we're not going along to get along no more.
That's right.
But
And
so
so,
please
come-
let him know that we see him now. We see this. It's taken too long that we see this. And there's a vote that comes up next time.
Well, so I have to be careful with political because I don't want them to make, they're gonna say, I told you the meeting was political. I told you. But I understand what you're saying, and we can have a conversation outside of this about that.
But what is it that we have to do?
Go to his house and stand around.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think that, seriously though, everything is political.
Yeah, it's true. So this is an action, because I know we talk, this is an action. Show up to the council meeting next Tuesday. Next Tuesday and say, what is the deal with the ARPA funds?
Where is that?
It's at St. Louis County, Clayton, the county building, 41 South Central.
First floor, 6:30. You wanna, speak, you have to get there about 15 minutes early and sign up.
Every Tuesday.
Except the 4th Tuesday, it's at 3 o'clock, if you free in the daytime.
But I will put this on our website as well. But that's what it takes, everybody. We have to show up, and when you all on there, because I know we work. I know people used to tell me this about PTA at my children's school. Well, PTA is at 9:30 in the morning. Who can be there at 9:30 in the morning? I'm thankful that my job let me have flexibility. But that didn't mean that he didn't care about his child because he wasn't there at 9:30 in the morning. So I want to meet us where we are. But when I say come out, we got to come out. Okay? So I know that it's been a long night. It's 8:30. I'm here to answer more questions. Not only answer more questions, pick up the phone and call me. I don't mind at all. Now it might be a 10 o'clock at night call, because by the time I finish working all the jobs, but pick up the phone and call me. I want to hear from you. I see we have a question here. I want to entertain this question, and then we can be formally dismissed for everybody. Yes. MoDOT.
I called MoDOT. We called your office. We got grass cut once, that was it.
Yes.
So, it has not been done again. The trash is crazy.
So here's the full story on that, ma'am. So MoDOT is responsible for 367. Just as you call our office, we pick up the phone and call Tabitha. Tabitha is our representation for MoDOT for North County. She has a schedule that I've asked her for so that it could be consistent right? If I'm only gonna pick up now this is prohibiting motor vehicles, they'll come out immediately. But if it's along the path, they have a schedule. And I asked her, where is that schedule? Every 2 weeks, once a month, every 6 weeks? And she said, Councilwoman Webb, it rotates. So I can't tell you the first Wednesday of every month they come in and sweep that area because she has not been able to deliver that. The other thing is, when we ask for them to come out, if it's not an emergency, she's saying, so if I come out, and I'm being honest with y'all, Councilwoman Webb, if I come out for you, that throws my schedule off for somewhere else I'm supposed to be. So when I'm supposed to come back to you, you're gonna be off because I'm gonna have to go back and clean up this other area. Again, they all are telling me about the staffing issues, and I'm like, yep, I know we have staffing shortages, but if you can give me a schedule, then I can go back to people and say, I understand it's scarce, but this is what the schedule is. And then you can be dependent on the first Wednesday of every month, MoDOT coming up and down these streets to clean up. She has not been able to deliver me that schedule, and that's wholeheartedly due to all the other zigzags that say this is more important at this time. So I will go back to Tabitha. Full disclosure, I'm not just putting Miss Tabitha's name out there. She is our representative. She did just have a little one and just returned to work. So continue to send us that information and continue to reach out to her directly. Because just like somebody else is yelling, we yell too. Right? And that will be county. Mm-hmm.
But they just cleaned that stretch 367 in Lindbergh, I think Monday or Tuesday. They had some overgrown stuff. Yeah, they picked up a mattress and some other things.
Well, and it's just like if there's an animal, right? An animal is supposed to be moved, right? In a timely manner. There was one deer, he was almost, he decomposed. I was like, but Miss Tabitha, you said, well, I understand, but he wasn't here, but isn't there like a health issue or something? Again, it was, well, this is the staff, this is what we have available. Another thing I want to say about this trash, and we didn't get to it, but I want to do another neighborhood cleanup. We have them every so often. But man, it's so disheartening if I'm standing out there picking up trash and somebody throw a whole McDonald's bag out the window. Like, I'm right here with the yellow vest on, dude, and you just gonna throw the whole McDonald's bag out the grass? So that is something we need to change in our mentality as a people. I'm not talking about black people, white people, as a culture. We need a mind shift change. And that is why I'm working with some of the entities, waste management entities, to put something back in the school to train us about, I know I'm from Texas, but it was don't mess with Texas, right? There used to be a litter bug or something they told me here in Missouri. We need to reinstantiate that because we can clean up day after day after day. Miss Julie and them in Spanish Lake, they green clean committee clean up every other week or something. They didn't put garbage cans in certain areas. They still got trash all up and down. I'm like, it's a mentality. It's just a mentality that you just gonna toss it out your window. So I don't have an answer to that. I can't legislate caring and self-pride, but I'm gonna do my best to give us an opportunity to care for our community together. And that's why I'm gonna put together another cleanup in July. So you please take a look out for that. And I want it to be so massive that you can be just in your subdivisions and just clean in your areas on those cross streets in your subdivisions. Everybody? Okay, she keep whispering to me. The Deer Lick properties. I set aside another $11 million out of ARPA funds to deal with the Deer Lick properties. Majority of the Deer Lick properties throughout St. Louis County reside right here in North County, and majority of them right here in our district. These Deer Lick properties are safe havens for crime. There have been kids molested in some of these properties, as the police at the time, Captain Cunningham, as they have shared with me. So we need to uproot them out of our community. Once again, county didn't have the funds. That is why we appropriated, and I work with my colleagues to get the $11 million. They started the process of identifying groups of these homes to be torn down, and then it stalled. So this is also part of that ARPA fund that I want Dr. Page to be accountable to. What is the problem? Okay, you don't have enough staff, sir. I get it, I understand. Put out an RFP, a request for a proposal, to have a third-party contractor come and do this work for us. This is the kind of stuff, we've been having a good time together, but this is the kind of nonsense that impacts our community. And people will say, well, I got time to wait. Our community don't have time to wait. So that is why we have to be vocal. That is why you write the letters. That's why you send me. I hope it's been worth the sacrifice of 2 hours of your day today. I truly hope so. We lost a lot of our crowd, but I understand they have been here a long time. I do apologize for me personally that senior tax freeze is not up and implemented, but it will be. And as soon as something goes and moves forward, I will communicate that, just like I communicated this meeting to you. You will get that information. So it started at 62.
Okay,
62. 62 is the same age as Social Security. Thank you. All right? You all have been wonderful. I hope I've been representing you well. I hope that I become someone that you can trust. And I pray that we work together to keep transforming North County. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.